You stand on the precipice of a revelation, a whispered truth that has echoed through millennia, yet feels utterly alien to your meticulously constructed world. The only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing. It's a maxim attributed to the ancient philosopher Socrates, a statement designed to humble even the most learned. And frankly, it irritates you. You who have tirelessly pursued knowledge, who have devoured texts, mastered skills, and accumulated a formidable mental library of facts and figures, are now told that your wisdom lies in acknowledging its absence. It feels like a cruel joke, a cosmic paradox designed to dismantle the very foundations of your intellectual identity. You recall countless nights hunched over textbooks, the glowing screen of your laptop illuminating a path through complex theories and intricate data. You remember the thrill of grasping a new concept, the satisfaction of solving a particularly thorny problem, the quiet pride in understanding a subject deeply enough to explain it to others. These aren't the experiences of someone who knows nothing. These are the markers of a mind actively engaged in the pursuit of understanding, a mind that has, by all objective measures, gained a significant amount of knowledge. The sheer audacity of the statement feels almost insulting, a dismissive wave of the hand at years of dedicated effort. Perhaps it's a trick, you muse, a linguistic sleight of hand. Is it meant to imply a kind of ultimate, unattainable knowledge, a divine understanding that makes human endeavors seem paltry? Or is it a psychological ploy, a call for radical humility to prevent intellectual arrogance? You've seen that arrogance certainly in others, and if you're honest, a flicker of it within yourself. The person who always has an answer, who dismisses dissenting opinions with a patronizing smirk, who believes their perspective is the only valid one. You try to avoid being that person, consciously striving for open-mindedness, but even that striving is born from a belief in your ability to discern and assimilate information. Consider your professional life. You've navigated complex projects, made crucial decisions, and often been looked to for solutions. Colleagues and clients seek your expertise. They trust your judgment, your grasp of the subject matter. How can you fulfill that role, offer that guidance if you genuinely believe you know nothing? It feels like a dereliction of duty, an abdication of responsibility. The world, your world, operates on the assumption of knowledge, of expertise, of people knowing something. Doctors know medicine, engineers know structures, coders know algorithms. Without that foundational understanding, society would crumble into chaos. You ponder the feeling of mastery, that satisfying click when a disparate set of facts suddenly coalesces into a coherent understanding. That's not ignorance. That's the opposite. It's the sensation of the world becoming clearer, more logical, more predictable. You've felt it countless times, and each instance has reinforced your belief in the power of acquiring knowledge. To disavow that, to declare it all a grand illusion, feels not wise but foolish. Yet the nagging whisper persists. There's a persistent intellectual itch that the simple accumulation of facts doesn't quite scratch. You've encountered situations where your deepest knowledge proved insufficient, where unforeseen variables or entirely new paradigms rendered your carefully constructed frameworks obsolete. You've met individuals who, despite lacking formal education in your field, possessed an intuitive grasp of certain truths that eluded your scholarly understanding. These moments, infrequent as they may be, introduce a disconcerting ripple into your otherwise calm waters of certainty. They hint at a vast ocean of information and understanding that stretches far beyond your current shores, a reminder of how much remains unexplored, unarticulated, and unknown. This initial resistance, therefore, isn't just about pride. It's about a fundamental reorientation of what you've always understood to be the very definition of wisdom. The initial sting of the Socratic paradox begins to subside, replaced by a subtle, almost imperceptible shift in your internal landscape. You find yourself less defensive, more curious. as the world outside your window provides an unexpected, visceral classroom. It's not in the quiet hum of your research lab or the sterile environment of a boardroom where this lesson truly begins to resonate, but in the chaotic, unpredictable currents of everyday life. You're on a trip, let's say, far from your usual haunts. The meticulously planned itinerary unravels. A flight is delayed, a reservation is lost, and suddenly, your carefully constructed understanding of how things should work crumbles. You find yourself in a foreign city, navigating unfamiliar streets, trying to communicate with gestures and broken phrases. All your accumulated knowledge about your own language, your own culture, your own way of doing things, seems utterly inadequate. In these moments of delightful disorientation, you're forced to confront the limits of your assumptions. You thought you knew how to travel, how to interact, how to solve problems. But here, stripped of your usual frameworks, you realize how much of what you considered knowing was simply a comfortable familiarity with your specific environment. The right way to cue, the correct social etiquette, the logical flow of a transaction. All these deeply ingrained patterns are suddenly called into question. You stumble, you make mistakes, you feel a profound sense of not knowing. And it's precisely in this vulnerability that something remarkable happens. You become more observant. You listen more intently. You learn to adapt, to improvise, to find new solutions you never would have considered within your rigid mental models. The embarrassment of mispronouncing a word or misunderstanding a gesture quickly gives way to the exhilaration of genuine connection, a connection forged not through expertise but through shared humanity, and a willingness to be openly, vulnerably ignorant. This experience ripples into other areas of your life. You encounter a new technology, one that renders your well-honed skills somewhat obsolete. The initial frustration gives way to a beginner's mind, a willingness to tinker, to experiment, to break things and rebuild them. You realize that your expertise in the old system, while valuable for a time, became a barrier to entry for the new. The known became the enemy of the newly knowable. Or perhaps you engage in a passionate discussion with someone whose worldview is diametrically opposed to your own. Instead of immediately marshaling your facts and figures to refute their points, you try, truly try, to understand their perspective. You listen not to formulate your rebuttal, but to genuinely comprehend the underlying beliefs and experiences that shaped their opinions. You don't necessarily agree, but you gain a deeper, more nuanced understanding of the complexity of human thought, a realization that your own carefully constructed edifice of beliefs is but one interpretation among many. You notice it in your hobbies too. You pick up a new instrument or try a new sport. The initial clumsy attempts, the awkward fumbling, the clear disparity between your imagined prowess and your actual execution. It's humbling, but it's also liberating. There's no pretense to maintain, no reputation to uphold. You are simply a beginner, open to instruction, eager to absorb, willing to make mistakes. And it's in this space of acknowledged ignorance that genuine learning accelerates. The ego, once a staunch gatekeeper of your perceived knowledge, now steps aside, allowing for a torrent of new information and experiences to flow in. This shift isn't about abandoning your hard-earned knowledge. It's about recognizing its context, its limitations, and its inherent incompleteness. It's about understanding that every piece of information you acquire, every skill you master, exists within a larger, ever-expanding universe of what is unknown. The more you learn, the more aware you become of the sheer vastness of what you haven't learned, the countless disciplines, perspectives, and phenomena that lie beyond your current grasp. This isn't a deficiency, it's an opportunity. It transforms the pursuit of knowledge from a finite conquest into an infinite exploration. The weight of needing to know everything lifts, replaced by the joyful curiosity of a perpetual student. Embracing intellectual humility is not a surrender to ignorance. It is, you now realize, a profound liberation. The crushing weight of needing to have all the answers, of maintaining an infallible facade, lifts from your shoulders. This isn't about becoming less capable. It's about becoming more adaptable, more resilient, and ultimately, more genuinely wise. You find yourself approaching new information, not with a filter of what you already know, but with an open curiosity, a willingness to be surprised and even to be proven wrong. This openness transforms learning from a rigid acquisition of facts into a dynamic, ongoing dialogue with the world. Consider the ripple effect of this shift in your interactions with others. When you acknowledge the limits of your own understanding, you create space for the knowledge and perspectives of those around you. You listen differently. Instead of waiting for your turn to speak to assert your expertise, you genuinely seek to comprehend. This makes you a better colleague, a more empathetic friend, and a more effective leader. You foster an environment where questions are celebrated, where diverse viewpoints are valued, and where collaboration flourishes because no single individual holds the monopoly on truth. The intimidating aura of the expert dissipates, replaced by the inviting presence of a lifelong learner. You begin to see patterns where before you only saw isolated facts. The interconnectedness of disciplines, the subtle echoes of human experience across cultures and time, become clearer. Your understanding of history deepens as you realize that the prevailing narratives are often just one interpretation, and that countless untold stories and alternative perspectives exist. Your appreciation for science expands as you grasp that even the most established theories are constantly being refined, challenged, and sometimes overturned by new discoveries. The very act of scientific inquiry is built upon the premise of knowing you know nothing, the constant questioning, the pursuit of falsifiability, the eagerness to venture into the unknown. This newfound humility also fosters genuine creativity. When you're not confined by what you already believe to be true, your mind is free to explore novel connections, to imagine unconventional solutions, and to innovate without the fear of failure. Many groundbreaking discoveries and artistic masterpieces have sprung from the willingness to challenge established paradigms, to ask what if, even when the answer seems obvious. It's the child's mind, unburdened by preconceptions, that truly sees the world for what it is, and for what it could be. The Socratic adage, once a source of annoyance, has now become a guiding principle. It's a reminder that true wisdom isn't a destination to be reached, but a journey to be embarked upon, an infinite horizon of discovery. It doesn't diminish your accomplishments, it recontextualizes them, placing them within the boundless realm of human inquiry. Each piece of knowledge you gain, each skill you master, becomes a stepping stone, not an end point. It's an invitation to delve deeper, to question further, and to remain eternally curious. The universe of knowledge is not a finite library that can be fully cataloged. It is an ever-expanding cosmos, and your humble recognition of its vastness is the key that unlocks endless exploration. As the sun dips below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of amber and violet, a sense of quiet contentment settles over you. The ceaseless striving for ultimate knowledge, the pressure to always be right, has faded. In its place is a gentle, persistent wonder. You realize that the most profound insights often emerge not from what you already possess, but from what you are willing to admit you lack. The journey of understanding is not about filling a vessel to the brim, but about expanding the vessel itself, making it capable of holding an ever greater expanse of the unknown. This journey is continuous, enriching, and deeply personal. It is an enduring invitation to marvel at the world's complexity, to engage with its mysteries, and to remain, always, an eager student of life. If this journey through the landscape of wisdom resonated with you, consider liking this video and subscribing to this channel for more explorations into philosophy, personal growth, and the unending pursuit of understanding. Reassured, you can step forward with a lighter heart, knowing that the most profound knowledge often lies just beyond the edges of what you believe you already know. The journey continues, and the greatest insights often await you in the quiet space of acknowledged humility.